This is not a scene out of Dexter. It is, however, a DIY home spray booth, because today we're going to paint some scooter panels right here in the garage. Let's get into it. Alright, I'm pretty well known for buying the worst possible scooters on Marketplace. My criteria is simple. It must be a bucket of shit, and wherever possible, it should not run. Pretty much as bad as it gets, I will buy. But there's still one type of scooter that I will avoid buying like the plague, and that's the one that's had a DIY home paint job. One that's been painted with these things here, rattle cans. All modern vehicles are now painted with a product called 2K polyethylene, not this stuff here. This stuff does not belong on the fairings of your scooter, your bike, your car, or anything really. So we've ruled out rattle cans for fairings. That's cool, but what about frames? Powder coating is really expensive, and maybe it's not for everyone. So sometimes you might use a rattle can for powder coating. It sounds hypocritical, right? So this stuff here is always nasty, and I still wouldn't use this stuff on the frame. I would, however, use this stuff here. This one is an epoxy enamel, and it dries super hard. And as an added bonus, it's even solvent proof. So if you put fuel on it, it will not eat the paint. This one, fuel on it, your paint's gone. So let's be fair, it's 2025. Paint technology has come a long way since 1981 when this frame was first painted. That being said, the paint in this can here is probably better than the paint that is on this frame in the bike. I'm not saying it's an excuse. Wherever possible, go powder coating, but if it's not in your budget, get something like this stuff here. It is great for painting frames. So you want to do a professional 2K paint job, but the cost is really prohibitive and it's kind of putting you off. Well, that is the point of this video. So I just got finished saying to you guys, paint technology since 1981 has come a long way. In fact, in the last 5 years, it's come another long way. This stuff here is 2K paint in a can. All right, you can't just go get this stuff at your local hardware shop. You actually have to go to a paint shop that supplies to the automotive smash repair industry, where they sell 2K paint. Now you go in there, you give them your color code. In this case, it is C9A. It's an Audi, Porsche, or Volkswagen color. They'll mix it up for you in the can. Now the hardener is separate inside. You pull this stuff here, you pull the pin like a grenade, you shake the can, it mixes the hardener in, and boom, you're ready to go. So what if you're painting metal? You need an etch primer. You can't paint directly over metal. Fairings, you need a plastic primer. You can't paint directly over plastic.
The key to a good paint job is preparation. Wherever possible, you need to be in a dust-proof environment. You need to wash down and clean off dust off every surface that you are painting on or near. Next, it's time to elevate the parts off the bench. Here I'm using old toilet rolls, boxes, whatever I can find to ensure the parts do not stick to the bench once painted.
My makeshift booth is now set up. All my parts are glued and stuck down to the bench here. My garage is all plasticed up. Now it's worth saying that this paint is extremely sticky. It floats in the air and it sticks to everything. That's why the car out there has a car cover on it. It's worth talking to your neighbors if you live in an area like this. Just make sure you tell them what you're doing. Can they move their cars? If you've got car covers, put them on their cars for them, because last thing you want to do is run into trouble down the line. Now I've just got to hose the floor. Then we're ready to paint.
Finally, it's time to clean the parts for one last time. I'm using Passola or wax and grease remover, wipe on and wipe off with a clean rag. Here I'm applying the plastic primer. I'm spraying a light coat over any exposed raw areas of plastic or fiberglass parts. I painted the parts in 2 sessions, so for the remainder of the video, we're going to concentrate on these parts right here. For the 2K paints, first remove the pin from the bottom of the can. Now insert the pin into the bottom of the plunger, pull approximately 10mm and twist in a full rotation. Once that's all done, it's time to start shaking. The first thing that you'll notice is I am wearing a mask. This stuff is toxic, you definitely do not want to be breathing it in. Alright, so what about spray fan? Well, these cans have that too. There's a little adjuster on the spray button. If you turn it to the left, it will give you a narrow fan. Turn it to the right, it will widen the fan so the spray comes out nice and evenly. So if this is your first time here and you're seeing these fairings and wondering exactly what bike they're for, if you click the little link at the top right of the screen, it will take you to a full build series of a Yamaha Passola. Check it out. For those that have been following along the build series, you're probably thinking, white. I did not expect white. Well, let me assure you, it is just a white base coat. Upon the white, there will be several other layers of colours, text and even design. But you guys are just going to have to wait for all that to unfold. All will be revealed in time.
And like that, the parts are painted. They look pretty good. I'll show you with a torch. There you go, nice and shiny. Not a bad result out of a spray can. The front of this thing looks absolutely sensational. There's our forks. Again, looking good. And here are our other parts here. They really came up well. I'm really happy with them. So what now? We've got about a 3-hour wait before we can even think about moving these things or touching them. These are done with a fast hardener and a fast reducer, which means it does dry very quickly. But again, it's not fully dry for probably about 6 weeks, to be honest. But you should be able to move them around gently after 3 to 4 hours. The waiting game begins. Alright, it's roughly 36 hours since we painted all these parts here on the bench, and I've got to say, they are looking sensational. But do they look good up close or only good from afar? How about we go in and we have a bit of a look. I think we can agree those parts look absolutely sensational. I'm actually surprised. I didn't think I could get such a good finish out of a rattle can. I didn't think it was possible. Could I have done a better job if I had done it in the booth? Absolutely, but this video was never ever intended to be the best job that I can do with all the professional equipment. It was about the best job I can do at home in my tiny little shed with a rattle can. And hopefully it encourages you guys to do something like this too. So what's the deal with painting it white? Now, I did mention earlier on in the video that it's not really going to be a white, it's just the base that everything is going to be placed upon. I did say right from the beginning this was going to be a Gensuke style build, and I will hold myself true to that. It is absolutely going to be that way. The brand is in my head and the concept is already in motion. So you guys know it's on a white background. The next hint I'm going to give you, it is a distinctively well-known Japanese brand all over the world. Any guesses? Put them down below, see if you can figure it out. Alright guys, so if you guys have hung around this long, you're probably interested in having a go at this yourself. Is there any pitfalls? Absolutely. This stuff is extremely toxic. It's carcinogenic. Prolonged exposure will give you cancer. You do need that mask, and it has to have the correct type of filters in it. Take a look at my floor. See the clean line down the middle? I've cleaned that. The rest of it is overspray. This stuff sticks to absolutely everything and it's very difficult to get off. It actually dries rock hard. So if you don't want paint on it, mask it up. That's why I had the sides masked up and the cars outside covered. All my other bikes were moved totally away, so there was no chance of them getting paint on it. However, thanks again for watching. I'm going to see you guys on the next one. For those that have subscribed, you're a legend. For those that are yet to subscribe, what are you waiting for? Press the button down below, get on board. Leave me a comment, give me a like, and I'm going to see you guys on the next video. Cheers.